I've always believed in explosiveness and aggressiveness. You put the two together.
Okay, so you guys want to see a deep dive on this one, and I gotta say, I'm pretty excited about this matchup too.
Yeah, I can see why this one got so many requests.
Dan Gable, the wrestling legend. I mean, come on.
Versus Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, up against the muscles from Brussels himself.
King of the splits and those crazy kicks.
Can you imagine?
I mean, it's grappling god against a striking specialist.
So would Gable just take him down right away, or could Van Damme keep him away?
Yeah, keep him at bay with those kicks.
Right. I mean, would those kicks even be enough to stop Gable?
That's the question, isn't it?
Let's dive in.
Let's do it.
So first up, we got to talk about Dan Gable. I mean, this guy is like the John Wick of wrestling.
Yeah, he's considered by many to be the best wrestler ever, pound for pound.
This guy's got the intensity.
Oh yeah.
And the work ethic.
Relentless.
I mean, the stories they tell about him are insane.
Yeah, like training in a snowstorm with no shoes.
Yeah, and refusing to even acknowledge his opponents before a match.
Tunnel vision.
Just completely focused on victory.
And his grappling, it's almost like he was born to wrestle.
Right, it wasn't just about strength. It was like
technique, precision.
And you could tell he was always in control.
Yeah, like a chess master, he would plan out every move, just waiting for his opponent to make a mistake, and bam, he'd exploit it.
And his takedowns, I mean, those were just legendary.
It was lightning fast.
Especially that double leg.
It was lightning fast.
And once he had you down, that was pretty much it, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Gable
was known for this thing called riding time.
Riding time.
Yeah, essentially, it's a measure of how long a wrestler controls their opponent on the mat. And Gable, he racked up an insane amount of riding time.
So basically, he would just grind you down.
Yeah, wear you out until you had nothing left to give.
And that's before we even factor in his conditioning.
Oh yeah, the man was a machine. I mean, they say he never even got tired.
Okay, so that's Dan Gable, basically a wrestling machine built for domination.
Yeah, pretty much.
So how do you even begin to go up against that?
Right, so on the other side of the map, we have Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, the muscles from Brussels.
Known for his flashy kicks.
And those splits.
Yeah, nobody does the splits like Van Damme.
But how would that actually play out in a fight against somebody like Gable?
Well, Van Damme's biggest strength is obviously his striking.
Yeah, those kicks.
He was a world champion kickboxer before he even got into movies.
Really?
Yeah, and he's got that background in karate too.
Oh, right. So he's got that mix of power and speed.
Exactly, and he's incredibly agile.
Yeah, I've seen those movies.
Those spin kicks, jumping kicks.
That one where he kicks the two guys at the same time?
Yeah, those are all real moves.
Really?
Well, sort of. They're based on real martial arts techniques.
Oh, okay.
But obviously in a real fight, you wouldn't be doing those crazy choreographed moves.
Right, but still, he's got the flexibility and the reflexes to pull off some pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, and that's what he would need against Gable. He'd have to use his agility and his reach to keep Gable at a distance.
To keep him out of takedown range.
Exactly. He'd need to be light on his feet, moving it constantly, and using those kicks and jabs to keep Gable off balance.
Like a boxer.
Kind of, but with more kicks. Van Damme's kicks were his bread and butter.
Okay, so could he actually stop Gable with one of those kicks?
Well, it's unlikely that a single kick would be enough to knock Gable out. I mean, the man was incredibly tough.
But maybe he could wear him down?
Yeah, those leg kicks, especially those roundhouse kicks to the thighs, they could definitely do some damage.
Yeah, I mean, I've been kicked in the thigh before, and it's not fun.
No, it's not. And if Van Damme could land a few of those on Gable, it could slow him down, disrupt his base, and maybe even create an opening for a knockout blow.
Okay, so Van Damme's got the striking advantage, but what about his ground game?
See, that's the problem.
What do you mean?
Well, Van Damme was a spectacle to watch on his feet.
Yeah.
His grappling skills were never really tested in a competitive setting.
You mean like in a real fight?
Yeah, I mean, we see him do some throws and takedowns in his movies.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
But those are choreographed,
Right.
It's Hollywood.
Not exactly the same as a real fight.
No, not at all.
So what you're saying is if Gable got his hands on Van Damme,
it would be game over.
like no chance of escape.
I mean, Gable was known for his suffocating top pressure and his relentless ground and pound.
So once he had you down, he would just
keep going.
Wow. Yeah, I think I'm starting to see how this would play out.
Yeah.
It seems like Van Damme might have some early success with those kicks, but in the long run.
Gable's pressure and control would eventually wear him down.
And once he went to the ground,
it wouldn't be pretty.
So does this mean that strikers can never beat grapplers?
Not necessarily. I mean, there are plenty of examples of strikers who've developed excellent takedown defense and counter grappling strategies.
So they can like stuff the takedowns.
Yeah, exactly.
And turn it back into a striking match.
Right, but the key takeaway here is the importance of well-rounded skills.
So like you got to be able to do it all.
Yeah, a fighter who can strike effectively, defend against takedowns, and hold their own on the ground,
Yeah.
they will always have an advantage.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So for everyone listening out there, next time you're imagining these epic clashes between legends,
Right.
remember it's not just about the highlight reel.
Yeah.
You got to think about the strategies.
The nuances.
Yeah, the full range of skills.
Exactly.
All right, well, thanks for joining me for this deep dive.
Of course.
And keep those requests coming. We'll see you next time.
See ya.